spiritual law of equality. Helps to empower respect for Mitakuye Oyasin, and it helps invoking spiritual community. It helps unify humanity to becoming one with the message of Ife. Now the Canupa empowers respect for Mitakuye Oyasin. Canupa, the pipe, the communion of the land. 2 trees is my name. I am here to share the sacred tree of life. All the relations of Mother Earth are part of her sacred tree. Now, dotting the top branches of this tree of life are these 7 stars, creators and guides. All evolution of Mother Earth. And these 7 stars are flowers of different color, specific scent, and an essence of life. Now, within the upper branches of the and foliage of our tree of life, there are spirit chiefs. There are many leaders of the spirit world. There are leaders from the animal nations, plant nations, mineral nations, sacred divas of the elements, and your most holy ancestors. All of these beings are known as spirit chiefs. They do guide the mind of their particular race which lives upon Mother Earth. They are leaders of the many peoples which live in the lower branches of the sacred tree, known as the spirit peoples. Now, these spirit people are of every kind in nature, and they are those who have transcended those cycles of karma. They live within the heavenly realms you call the 5th dimension. They are guides, teachers, masters of each and every evolution which you see in the physical upon Mother Earth. So these watch over every human being and upon all the kingdoms of life to bestow blessings, teachings, and they freely give away their being to support the ever-growing strength of their race. Now, descending further down our tree of life unto its lowest branches and into the fork of the tree, we find human being. Human being is more evolved upon the spiritual journey than the most common animal, tree, or stone. Yet you see that human being is no way the top of the ladder. Instead, you inhabit the worlds known as the terrestrial and have many spirit teachers of all clans and forms which come to you in service and in love. Human beings must honor the spirit clans of the stone peoples, the green, glowing, growing ones, and the spirit clans of your animal guardians. They are all teachers for you. As you will soon understand, it is necessary for these beings to teach human beings, for human being to transcend the physical, to rise into the celestial spheres. Now at this juncture, in the tree, we see 2 types of human beings. We see those which are called holy people, true human beings, and secondly, we see those which are physically minded, those which are still are part of group mind, whose concerns are within the 3 lowest natures within the human ability: physical survival, basic sexuality, and struggling to overcome self. So these are the first 3 spheres of human beings, and are the spheres of those that we term as unaware peoples. They have not yet discovered the power of heart or the truth of the sacred word which is invested in them, or the great vision of spirit which gave them birth for their very connection to all. Human beings that have learned the 7 facets of self are conscious. So once human beings have risen unto giving life and service to all relations, they are Wakoyate. They are holy people. So it's been taught. And it's true that human beings walk 7 lifetimes generally. Each is through 7 inner flames, learning the lessons, walking in the 4 directions around the tree of life, and spiraling through each lifetime unto the pinnacle of spirit. And once having achieved their sacred labor, they are cut free of the bonds of physicality and lifted into that spiritual body to dwell in the higher branches of the tree of life. Now traveling yet further down the sacred tree, immediately at the foot of human being, we find that many animal nations. These are ones that swim, crawl, run, and fly. All of those which you know, and some which you know not yet. There are your younger brothers and sisters. They have much teaching for you. Each one is the individualization of the Spirit and is a perfect teacher of a facet of the gemstone of nature. Now, moving yet a little further down into the sacred tree, we find the many plant and tree nations, mosses, algae, and grasses. All of these are near the roots of our tree of life and our sustenance, which provide for the whole. Now, the consciousness of plant and tree nations is the very consciousness of that light which you know as love. And to some, it's known as the Christ. For it is in the love of universe which unfolds the green realities of tree and plant nations. It is through their giveaway, their science, that all of the rest of the relations may be fed. Each one, again, in the mired forms of life among tree and plant nations are an individualization of the aspects of the divine law. They are also the sacred helpers for human beings. Now, among the roots and within the soil of the tree of life are the stone and mineral peoples. These peoples are within that terrestrial world, and in that inner world, the celestial. These people hold the memory, sacred remembrance of all time for our sacred tree of life. They are teachers for giveaway. They provide us shelter. They provide us sacred space for our ceremony, and they provide us the very nutrients of life necessary for each and every being of our sacred family. Going deep within the soils of the tree of life, we travel to the atomic level where intelligence are yet beyond the understandings of human beings. By the atomic, we do speak of that subatomic as well. For this is the place where the great mystery, our Holy Cosmic Mother, does manifest the inherent truths of her heart, and does help to form the building blocks of all life. She feeds the tree within and without, so that all relations are able to fulfill their sacred destiny. And know too that these beings known as atoms
Come on, people!